Before you see me shape hair like this on television, a lot of work goes on in the back room. My director was just saying, iris up, iris up, iris up. It's amazing, the people who make us look good. I always say that we come and we take all the glory, but today I want to celebrate as we get into the news review. Yao Forson, director extraordinaire, and my producer extraordinaire, Derek Ekosam. So Derek Nokra, anyway, we'll delve into that some other day. There's Solomon, who is here, together with the rest of the crew. Some of the names I don't know. And there's this gentleman with a huge beard. We all call him Abodje. Abodje. But he ensures that the lighting is right, so that dark as I am, you can see me on TV. There's also Linda, also very dark. To all the crew who make it happen on the show, I just want to salute you. God richly bless you. All right. I bestow blessings as well onto the character, a certain character who joins me in the studio. A very good character. Outside of here, we are always up to mischief, but on here, we're of good behavior. The man, Samuel Umbura, all the way from the Upper East region. When last were you in the Upper East?
I was there in April, yeah.
April this year. Okay, so May, June, July, about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
How is the Upper East?
Oh, everything is moving on well. It's just a normal conversation about development, health, road, infrastructure. You know, the latest has to do with the one district, one dam. I mean,
one village, one dam. Yeah.
You know,
we've been there.
Yeah, Jojo was there with the team. I was in touch with them when they were there. They actually went to my district where they shot the first
which
documentary. That's Bongo District.
Bongo District, right.
That's where they shot the first documentary on the one district, one village, one dam. And it's actually a nightmare for the people there. You know, one would have thought that the policy could have helped in the way when it comes to dry season farming. You know, we have the unimodal rainfall pattern there.
Yeah.
The rain rains once in a year.
Yeah, once in a year, and so that's it. You don't get the second.
They rely on the rain-fed agriculture. So at least if you are able to bring this one village, one dam policy, the youth who normally troop down to the south to work during the
Some of them would stay.
Exactly. And we have evidence to show those who farm along the White Volta, on the Boku stretch, onion farms and all that, they are able to fend for themselves and the family. So that is one of the major headaches that the people are calling on the government to go back and reconstruct, at least cluster the dams. There are some villages that is just like a kilometer away, and you have these dams that have been constructed.
So I hear where they were situated, some of the people were saying, this will not work, this will not work. And truly, it did not work.
And because there are no sources of water sources to the dams, they rely on the rain. So once it is in the dry season, these dams would dry up.
Which means then if you're a farmer, you must find a way of irrigating, whether it's your maize or your groundnut or your sorghum or whatever. And if you can't do that, your crops will die.
Exactly. So that's a major problem. Now we're in the rainy season, so the farmers are relieved. They are farming, but the challenge has to do with the dry season.
When that season comes.
Yeah.
You know, right before I acknowledge Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic and then we get into the papers, something interesting happened to me last night.
Okay.
I was looking for this document, which I did not find anyway, but I stumbled upon some old pictures of me as a little baby boy. And I was asking myself, what happened in between? Because I was so rosy, my cheeks, my hair. You should have seen my fro.
I see.
Now today you see me and it's no testament to, you know, what I looked like back then. But then I fast forwarded and saw some pictures from secondary school at Bishop Herman. Way back in time.
Okay.
And I was looking like a feather that had... And then I fast forwarded to when I started work.
Exactly.
In simple terms, Nyamia Ebi.
Yeah.
God has done some because, Charlie, you know, sometimes those old pictures, they humble you.
Exactly.
They show you that, you know, God held your hand and he has kept taking you in life step by step. I'm sure if we were all to do throwbacks here, the way we go laugh.
Yes, I'm just thinking, when you started that story, I just started thinking, I'm always shocked, like where I am now. I never dreamt of coming to Joy. It's just by grace. So I look back and I feel refreshed. Thank you, God, for all that you've done for me. It's not the case that I'm special. It's not the case that I'm a different breed of a human being, but it's just the grace of God. And every little achievement or everything that you go through should strengthen you and give you that particular motivation that, look, there are brighter days ahead. Someone will say that, there's light at the end of the tunnel, but you need light in the middle of the tunnel to get to the end of the tunnel. But everything shall surely be in the right place at the opportune time. Yeah.
Inshallah. Yeah. Are you sure you've not been called to ministry?
Definitely.
Because your sermon, your homily was
maybe
spot on.
In the next 15 years, I should go into full ministry.
Also for Anyway, this segment is always brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering, if you're a man, prostate screening for free. If you're a woman, fertility screening for free. Locate them at Spintex here in Accra, opposite the Shell signboard. In Kumasi, Chronomabwe here behind the Angel Educational Complex. The Stakrade Anaji State Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanso and Esiama Nzema. If you'd like to call them, which I suggest you do, the numbers are 0244 867 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of the news review, I have the Daily Graphic and the Finder. What do you have, Sam?
I have the Daily Guide, the Ghanaian Publisher, and the Daily Analyst.
Okay, let's start with you.
Yeah, Daily Guide, it comes with the picture. That's a big story there. John Mahama dams Naana hands for new Veep. We know very well that there are already speculations out there who partner John Mahama ahead of the 2024 general elections. They are looking at the regional dynamics. John Mahama represents the northern extraction in the NDC. Professor J. Naana Opoku-Agyeman is from the central region. So you look at the voting dynamics. What did her region contribute in the previous elections?
Exactly.
So going with the same candidates, are we secured? Are we sure that we'll get the backing of the people from the central region? What is her level of, what's her political clout in that region? Does she command that attraction and all that? So names like the former Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra, have come up. Sylvester Mensah, the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies, Accra, Joshua Alabi, former Boss Managing Director, Kingsley, Kwame Uwadako, former Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Alex Kofi Mold, and former Brown and Ahafo Regional Minister, Eric Opuku, who they say they enjoy the support of the wife of John Mahama, the former lady, Her Excellency, Lordina Mahama. So these are the speculations out there. So far as the run up to the 2024 general election is concerned, and who partners John Mahama in the NDC is a matter of discussion here. Parliament amends whistleblower contract acts.
Before you go on that very point, what do you think? Because the good old professor, some say it would be unfair. The people of the central region have always voted askew, if you like. They don't have a fixed pattern.
It swings.
It swings. Look at the Yasin area, for example, and what has happened. Yes, even before, when it was just one constituency, when Kennedy Ohene Japan was Member of Parliament, before it was split into North, Central, and South, with now Asin North, having been contested a number of times. Even there, it's not, one party can't stake a claim to it. It's not like a Bantama or any other place. You get it. So it's pretty tricky, this conversation. What do you think? You are on our political desk. Do you feel it is the former president would change? Because yesterday, listening to them at the Atta Mills Memorial lecture and all of that, when Prof spoke, and she was invited to speak.
Yeah.
She saluted, her boss and all of that. It felt almost as though this was a done deal. So I don't know, but
I've always held a different position when it comes to the choice of the running mates to John Mahama. Professor Naana Opoku-Agyeman is a very fantastic material. She's an intellectual. But the question is she a typical politician? That's the question people ask.
Was Atta Mills a typical politician?
Yeah, so we
could ask that too.
Yeah, we can ask that too.
Dr. Baumia, was he a typical politician? No, he wasn't.
All right, let me advance my point. Now, the regional or the tribal dynamics play a lot. So going into the elections, they'll be looking at, fine, the central region, we have presented someone. So if we go with a different person from a different region, let's say Volta region or Ashanti region, then we have not neglected the central region because we went with one candidate in 2020, but it didn't succeed. Now, I see it to be like if they are going to 2024 general elections with Professor Naana Opoku-Agyeman, maybe it is just to honor the late president and to let the people of the
from the central region.
Central region. Let the people of central region, have the feeling that they have not neglected them. The party is not the
but how do you because the central region has had its fair share from Accra under Rawlings. Accra, Vice President Accra, who infamously got slapped and all of that, so to speak, to Atta Mills, Vice President and President. People say they have had their fair share in terms of vice officials or vice presidents, and that, in fact, some are saying that to win over the Ashanti region, which seems to be leaning. You've heard even some prominent chiefs in the Ashanti region go against the MPP. If they are going to win that region, they need to nominate someone from that part of the country.
Exactly. So I think it will be too early for the NDC to start looking for one. Maybe they have to wait for the NPP to be done with their elections, and that would inform them the type of running mate they should take. Because at the moment, you don't know who will lead the NPP.
Yeah.
Whether it is, anyone among the 10 can win the election, because politics comes with surprises.
Yeah.
So anyone in
anything could happen.
Can happen. So they have to wait, see the outcome of the MPP's flag bearer elections, and that will inform them the type of running mate they should take. All right. So let me move to the Parliament, where Parliament has amended the Whistleblower Contracts Act. It comes with a picture of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumani Bagben. We also have Adisadel bullying student arrested.
What do you think of that video, though? I mean, were you in a boys' school?
No, I went to Big Boys. It was a mixed school.
Mixed school. I was in a boys' school, and yes, bullying. Yes, there are some things that would, but I feel this was extreme. This was not bullying. This was wickedness.
Yeah. When I saw the guy, strangling the.
How do you strangle someone?
The colleague, and then hitting the head against the metallic bed, I cringed. I was like, I felt cold at the moment.
No.
Wow, is this guy human? And I decided to analyze.
Some suggest he was high on something.
I decided to analyze the video on the tactics that the guy used, and you realize that the position he.
It's a chokehold.
Yes, so you realize that the guy is either someone who watches wrestling, or he practices movies.
So it could also be that he's a martial artist or something, which would make it worse.
Parents should monitor, and that's why parents need to monitor the type of movies their children watch at home, so that it wouldn't influence their mentality growing up, because these are children still at their developmental stage, and anything that comes, they may want to experiment it. We've all been through that stage before.
Yeah.
So it tells us about the mental aspect of it that we have not taken serious as a country, and it starts from not just from the secondary school, it starts from the JSS, the junior high school. Sorry if I say
the housemaster, took a bit of flack on the back of this, but some things, really, it behoves parents, like you're saying. Sometimes we push the buck to the school, but socialization, culturalization, it starts from the home. Then the school plays its role. Then society plays its role. Sometimes if there's a gap in there somewhere, some of these things happen.
And mostly when these children also witness violence at home, they extend it to others. They think it's normal. After all, my parents, they fight among themselves. They have all manner of insults against one another. So if I go to school and I do this to my colleague, the person doesn't see that to be an infliction of pain. They don't consider the emotional psychology of their colleagues. And I think that like some of the psychologists are suggesting, mental health must be taken seriously, so that we'll at least conscientize our children or our wards to know what to do at what time and what not to do. Still on the front page of the Daily Guide, bench warrant for Christian Divine Church leaders, marijuana smoking not legalized. That's from the Speaker, Alban Sumani Bagben. We are told it has been legalized for commercial purpose, not for individual use. So those are the stories making headlines on the front page of the Daily Guide. But the back page comes with the minister denying GFA player selection interference, comes with Mustafa Yusuf, who is the minister for youth and sports. Mbappe rejects Saudi meeting. Nigeria ends shock win over WWC host there. The next paper I have with me is the Ghanaian publisher.
You might as well dwell a bit on the... Okay, so the Ghanaian publisher.
Yeah.
Let's see what stories there are there. You can read some out.
So it comes with a picture of the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Samuel Abujinapo. It says, Lands Ministry denies granting lithium license. 20 million euro Tamale wastewater treatment plant inaugurated. It is on page 2 of the Ghanaian publisher. digitization reshaping Ghana, according to the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He has been talking extensively about how
Mr. Digital.
He has been able to use the digital platforms to migrate the economy, and then some of the institutions are able to monitor their exercises or their activities through the digital platforms. And he has been an advocacy of the digital system. But I remember one doctor in technology granted us an interview on Africa Connect, and then he was talking about the fact that the digitalization drive started way back in their champion regime. Some of them championed it. They gave.
No, but we cannot say that this administration started with
exactly.
digitization.
So if the current administration continues it, that's a good point there for us to continue, because we can't continue with the manual system, because we need to upgrade as a country.
I think recently, was it the births and deaths registry? No, I think it was the Registrar Generals or something of the sort. One of those institutions where they had some data from the 19th century, not digitized, if you like. And that is a huge problem. But right before you go on, let me just acknowledge determined Helen Barr. You say, good morning, I am watching from Liberia. Wow. Thank you for connecting. From every now and then we get viewers from Nigeria, Liberia, Gabon, Gambia, and the rest. So welcome. Thank you so much, Helen Barr, for doing the watching. Other stories you'd like to get into?
All right. So
I want you to exhaust your stories.
Yeah. So the Daily Analyst, we have the same story. If not legalized weed for recreational purposes, Speaker clarifies exploitation of lithium. Government denies granting licenses to companies. Comes with a picture of Samuel Abu-Janapo. Galamsey is destroying vast cocoa farmlands at Atakrom. It comes with a picture of Mr. George Ebisa Kwesi, an assembly member for that area there. National Development Conference, digitalization helping to reshape Ghana's moral fiber. That's coming from the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Yoko chases Lebanese over alleged shady deal there. It comes with a picture of this man. I wouldn't want to attempt to mention the name.
What's the name then?
This is the name. It's not a French name though.
Kishore. Or is it Kishore? Kishore. And the second one? Gurmukdas.
Gurmukdas.
Charlie? We go leave on for here. Anyway. All right, so let me get into the papers I have. The Daily Graphic newspaper this morning. Education Ministry reverses decision on Adisadel student. You know, the other student as well, the victim.
The victim.
I feel was victimized even further by being... I mean, how do you say that he who has suffered this should also, simply because he didn't report it or something of the sort? But Education Ministry reverses decision on Adisadel student. Goyle graphic pledge to promote national interest. Controversy over two fishers' death at sea. And you know, sometimes they go to sea, and there are so many things that happen, including coming face to face sometimes with illegal fishers. Yeah. Some of these people from different jurisdictions, and of course, I cannot fail to mention, I'm not stereotyping, but the Chinese, and sometimes getting into our waters. And because we do not have the sort of logistics and human resource that maybe the United States and other developed countries have to patrol their borders, there's a lot going on that we don't get to see. And our fish stock keeps depleting. Exactly. You know? Yeah. So who knows what happened? I'll get into that story. Speaker clears air on we law. Masa, they've legalized industrial hemp. You go and smoke your soma. Anyway, so that's it. On the back page, combating depleting ozone layer. EPA to certify refrigeration technicians. Now, this is also a very important matter. And 3 communities in Amansie West get mining concessions. But the story about the fishermen. Yeah. 2 fishermen from Tema died at sea in the early hours of yesterday, sparking a furore between fishers and port authorities over what caused their death. Now, the fishers, mostly from Temamanghiang, that is Newtown, claimed the 2 were part of 12 members who were on a ritual Homowa fishing expedition when a patrol boat from the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority rammed into their canoe at the Tema Port anchorage, causing it to capsize. But the GPHA denied that assertion, saying no such incident had happened at sea. The canoe, Adesa na Ohechui, I'm trying here.
That's the name of the canoe?
Yeah.
The fishing vessel belonging to the Chinese.
No. The fisher folk.
The fisher folk.
The local fisher folk. This is a canoe.
Yeah.
Which translates man, be patient. Not tree. Adesa. No hate tree. Okay. My gun will come bit by bit. Was carrying 12 fishermen who were on a Homowa ritual fishing expedition with the backing of the Tema Traditional Council. The fishermen said they were hauling their nets within the anchorage when they were rammed by the patrol boat that was at the scene to drive them away.
Wow.
Now, the deceased have been identified as Francis Tetelabi, 27, and Samuel Akwe Alote, 45, both residents of Tema, Newtown. Like Ibitria, I read finish, but this one in Crino. Yeah.
That's sad.
But that's a sad development. That's a really sad development. They went out to fish. I mean, at sea, a 20-something-year-old.
No, one of the issues I've always observed has to do with the lack of safety at the seas where these fishermen go to fish. I was in Saudi from Enumbu society. Are going to Germany, connecting to Germany is one of the biggest markets in the country here. Fish, they sell fish there and all manner of food stuff. When I got there, interestingly, I saw children as low as 18 years. They were on their boats, and then they didn't see anything wrong, and they were getting into a deeper part of the lake, because it connects to the sea as well. And I was like, is it the case that because they feel like we've lived in the fishing community for long, we have that expertise, we have that swimming experience,
right?
So we don't need any.
You don't play those games with water bodies.
Exactly.
You don't do that.
They don't have the let's say emergency kits there. So in case there is anything, do you have a life jacket to help? Do you have something to resuscitate the person when a person gets drowned and then the person is weak, or you rescue the person from the sea? And I think more education should go to our fishing communities. You shouldn't assume that because I know how to swim, I've been on this river or this water body for a very long time, even no matter how the tides are very strong, I can go through. And it's actually a worrying situation there that I think we have to take serious interest in averting any possible calamity.
Well, most definitely. Let me also acknowledge we have a viewer who watches the show practically every morning, a very prominent one. I know usually he would like to not be mentioned, but today there's nothing not to mention about him. Professor John Japong, former Vice Chancellor at UHAS. On the back of how we started talking, reflecting on life and everything, he sent me this image that says, your life is someone's dream, so don't be ungrateful.
Exactly.
Your life, no matter how bad it is, it doesn't mean someone else must be worse, but sometimes you just look around you and you see that, Charlie, my own self good.
Oh, yeah.
We all the holla, but my own self good.
Sometimes you feel like giving up.
Be grateful, be thankful. The miracle of sleeping and waking is enough. Prof, we're grateful for your words of wisdom that you've shared with us this morning. God bless you, sir.
Sometimes you feel like giving up, but you look at the people who look up to you. So if I give up, look at the number of dreams you are going
What happens to them?
Exactly. So you have to continue pushing no matter the challenges that you find yourself.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Let's just take a sneak peek at that story on weed or marijuana. So the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagman, has emphasized that the recent legislation on the use of cannabis did not endorse the recreational use or smoking of the drug. He says, we must dispel any misinterpretation of the new acts. The provision is designed to strike a prudent balance between the harnessing of the drug for industrial and medicinal use of not more than 0.3%, which, by the way, if you used that, it would not have any effect on you. And that's the whole point. That is tetrahydrocannabinol, THC content, while maintaining our robust control of narcotics to ensure the safety and well-being of our society. I can't don't come and say that, oh, why are you guys arresting me? NPP announces date for nomination of proxy voters, and that will be not later than August the 2nd, 2023. So it says, the New Patriotic Party has urged all delegates who intend to nominate a proxy for the Presidential Special Electoral College election to submit the particulars of their proxy to the Secretary of the Elections Committee not later than August 2, 2023. There's also Chief Justice declines removal of Atoforsen trial judge. The Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Araba Esaba Saki Tokonu, has declined a request to remove the judge presiding over the case in which Minority Leader and former Deputy Minister of Finance, Kaselato Forson, and 2 others have been accused of allegedly causing 2.37 million euros financial loss to the state in an ambulance deal. But speaking of euros, Kelly, people get cash for this country.
This thing, you want to talk about?
We go to your house right now. How much you go find?
20 pesos.
20 pesos. An MP, the member of parliament for Drapa was on my show, was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Okay.
And he said 2 days ago, I think, you wouldn't even find 1,000 CDs there, and not in his account. Like, hey, bruh, $1 million. You know, today, I'll be sharing my blunt thoughts, and I'll also, as part of it, I'll be sharing with you and all of Ghana and the whole world just how much you can do with $1 million. It would amaze you. If you look at the allocations to some sectors, actually, $1 million is a huge deal. $1 million could fill this entire...
You can construct a better dam.
So I've titled my blunt thoughts for today, Barefaced Thievery. Don't judge it yet. Listen to me and you will understand. Barefaced thievery, brazen arrogance, and the crisis of leadership, the beginning of the end. You want to stay with me for that after Prime Take. But the final newspaper this morning, NLA engaging Finance Ministry, GRA over 10% lotto tax. Charlie, around this time, you win some lottery.
I thought they had implemented it. You know, last year or so, they said they wanted to extend the taxes to the gaming side, those who do sports betting and all that. So at least when you win, the 10% will be deducted from source. I didn't know that they were still in engagement.
Yeah, it appears.
It actually created some reactions from young people who think that, or who say that, you don't give us money to go and do these activities. It's our own money we are investing. They see like it's more or less investment.
Yeah.
So why would you want to do that when you're not part of the investment?
But that's what it is. Access Bank pledges support for Ghana's pharmaceutical industry. There's Alan for President campaign postpones planned Ashanti regional derbys. There's also this one, pretty worrying.
That particular story was supposed to start today and end on the 2nd of August. However, you know, we understand they'll be presenting the budget, the mid-year budget review. His team explained that because he wants to lead the country, they have much interest in parliamentary and government business.
And now that shift.
They want to hear the direction of the IMF. So that they can be well informed and then get to talk to their people. One of the reasons they are postponing it. Okay.
Thanks for the scoop. Akosia Menu promises development, more jobs for Adenta. And it's interesting how she's going about her campaign. Let's see how it goes. I'm happy that young people, though, more and more young people are getting into politics. Just to wrap, tracking devices fixed on 68 excavators for pilot phase of electronic monitoring of excavators. Will this solve the problem? Tire man. Anyway, and then 9.24 million HIV positive persons not on treatment due to stigma. I thought this thing was a thing of the past in a way, because you remember back then they said that even if you touched them or something, but we've come so far. Look at Magic Johnson. I always go back to him and how well he has lived, getting the virus sometime in the 80s.
You know, stigma kills more than the disease itself.
No, sometimes.
What society thinks about it.
So what kills you is the fact that you realize what other people, or you contemplate what other people will think about you. That kills people even faster than the disease.
The disease itself,
Anyway, this one comes through from Fortress Ziga. You say, good morning, Joy News. Good morning to you and your co-host is Watsby G from Alberta, Canada. Okay, thank you for watching us all the way from Alberta in Canada. A very happy birthday to you. Today is your birthday, Anna Na Amanua Ankra. I call you Anna. You're a very special person. I wish you the best of today as you hit that new milestone. God bless and keep you. You're a wonderful person. You take care and have a super day. Is there anything else you have to say right before we go?
Oh, no. Not
Our time is up.
Much. Yeah. I just like to say a very good morning to one of my friends in the U.S. Yes, Subukasen.
Hey, those of us with friends in the U.S.
He and his wife and the little girl, Dr. Kondi. I say a very good morning to them. He has been a very good friend, brother, since his time as a regional chairman for the Ghana Journalists Association in Kumasi.
Okay.
You know, I worked briefly in Kumasi before I left for the Upper East.
Where have you not worked? Where have you not worked in this country? This segment brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They are offering free prostate screening, free female fertility screening. Reach out to them here in Accra at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi Kronoma here behind the Angel Educational Complex, Takrade Anaji State Tema Community 22, Techiman Hanswa, and Esiama Nzima. You can also call them on 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Just the start, though, of sports. Now, on Prime Take today, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi sits with the over to you man. We all know him, Joe Lati. That is up next on the show.